What really gets me is that they should have contacted me a long time ago. Why would they wait if his grades were really that bad, if he was having trouble in school? I mean, they should have involved me from the very beginning. Grant, are you listening?
I'm sorry, honey, what?
What could be more important than a problem involving our child?
Honey, you're right. I am just a little preoccupied.
With what?
The lynch mob that's meeting over at the Foresters.
Oh, you mean with the detective?
Man, what kind of bogus theory that loser could be spinning out?
Hunter, if it wasn't Thorne or Enrique or Michael, then who is it?
I'll get it.
Or is this your way of telling us you're not sure?
Oh, no, Eric. I know who shot Chambers.
Who was it, Hunter?
I'll get to that.
Somebody want to tell me what this is all about?
Clarke, what are you doing here?
I was told to come over here right away.
By whom?
Me.
What's everybody looking at me for?
Well, I think it's because Mr. Jones has just finished his investigation, and he seems to think he knows who shot Grant.
Well, we all know who shot Grant, although I realize it's difficult for some of us to accept it.
Clarke, why don't you just shut your mouth and listen for once? You might learn something.
All right. I always enjoy a good bit of fiction.
Good. Fiction I'm not sure about, Garrison, but you're certainly a featured player in the story.
Ladies, trust me, you had to be at that ball and see it with your own eyes to believe it. A tall, dark stranger wearing a jeweled mask arrives, is pursued by Chambers' posse and the police, eludes them, leaps onto a chandelier.
And they didn't catch him?
Well, did they find out who it was?
The authorities believe it was Ridge Forrester, but they couldn't prove it. Oh, and there was another wonderful moment.
Oh, great. What else?
Eric Forrester announced to us all that he had proposed marriage to Stephanie.
What?
Oh, hi. Oh. I guess you heard. Oh, Lauren, I am so sorry. Yeah, so am I. Thank you. Listen, not to change the subject, I'm looking for Clarke. He needs to approve these drawings.
Oh, he left here about 20 minutes ago.
Did he? Where was he going, Donna?
I don't know. He just got this strange phone call. You know, it was kind of upsetting, and then he said he would be over at the Forrester house.
Forrester, why?
You know what's going on over there, don't you?
I don't know anything, Lauren. Tell me.
Well, that investigator, Hunter Jones, has set up a meeting.
What kind of a meeting?
For the family and,
Go on. Let's have it all.
well, all the potential suspects.
And he wanted Clarke to be there.
Look, if you dragged me over just to try to intimidate me...
Clarke, why don't you just sit down and shut up?
No, I got a better idea. Why don't I leave?
And I thought you liked a good story, Garrison. But maybe this one hits a little too close to home.
All right. Fine. Let's hear your story.
Grant, why are you so concerned about some investigator spinning out a theory? Why is that worrying you?
You're right.
But it does bother you.
It shouldn't.
But what? What is going on with the men in this house?
Brooke, I'm sorry.
Well, sorry isn't good enough. I want to know what's going on. What are you keeping from me? Grant, you want me to trust you. And I want to. But how can I if you don't even communicate, if you're not open?
Well, I am. For the most part.
Then the door's half closed. Is that the kind of marriage that you want?
Honey, listen. Sometimes a man has to make decisions. And sometimes those decisions are extremely difficult.
And you just made one of those decisions?
Yes, and do not ask me what it is. I did it for all the right reasons.
Well, then why can't you tell me?
I will in time. Honey, I just want you to trust me. You have to trust me. And know that I would never do anything to jeopardize our life, our marriage, and our family. Now, can you do that? Honey, you're right. Trust is so important. But I'm asking you to trust me and know that I want this to work more than anything. So I'm asking for your unfaltering, complete trust.
Grant, you don't reciprocate.
Well, I will in time. Brooke, I don't want you to question this. I want you to know that I want you more than anything, and I love you. You have to trust that. But I can't tell you anything right now, so just don't ask me. Come
here. Let's consider for a moment a man on a roll here. He's the CEO of one of the leading fashion houses in the world, married to a beautiful woman that he loves, with an adorable family. This had to be a career high for this guy. But it wasn't always that way. This very same man, about a month ago, was considered persona non grata within the same company and married to the very same woman who wouldn't let him so much as put a finger on her. Two totally different pictures. We had, before the shooting, marital hell, and we had, after the shooting, marital bliss. Now, what could have brought about such a radical change? Well, I'll show you. It was this. It was a bullet. Let's consider now another man, close friend of the victim. They both share similar personal problems, but they have a common bond in that they both suffered serious setbacks from one Ridge Forrester. Now, Grant, he knows that his lovely wife is never going to repay his love and affection because she's still in love with Ridge. So Grant starts to examine his options. Should he have Ridge eliminated? Well, if he does that, his lovely wife is probably going to go to her grave bearing a torch for a slain lover. So he thinks again. Over the next couple of months, with the help of Garrison here, the two of them hatch this daring yet rather ingenious plan. And this is how it worked.
Oh, I've got a very terrible feeling about all of this.
You don't think that the detective wanted to see
Oh.
Clarke because...
Oh, no.
Why else, honey? Why else? Why would he want Clarke to be there at that meeting?
Well, maybe he wants to rule Clarke out as a suspect.
Thanks for the kind words, Loring, but you and I both know he wouldn't have asked him over to Forrester for that. No. Hunter Jones has had his own theory about who shot Grant Chambers right from the beginning, and now he's made it obvious. Clarke is a part of that theory.
Well, Jones, this is the most entertaining story I've heard in a long time. By all means, go on with your tall tale.
This plan, it had to satisfy on two levels. Now, Garrison here, well, All he wanted was revenge. But Grant? Well, Grant wanted nothing less than total character assassination in order to bring Brooke back to her husband. On the day of the shooting, Clarke here turns up in Grant's office, and they spent about an hour together. They went over the final details. It was all a matter of timing. The executive wing had to be cleared of as many people as possible. Hopefully only Ridge would remain on the floor. So they waited. Waited and watched. Then, when all was quiet on the floor, and Ridge had left his office momentarily, one of them, probably Clarke, slipped into Ridge's office. And took the gun from the desk drawer. Then, Grant took his position behind his desk. He braced himself for the ultimate sacrifice. And Garrison, standing in the doorway, aimed the gun, pulled the trigger, and shot Grant in the shoulder. Clarke quickly dropped the gun and fled through the fire exit. The perfect conspiracy. Shortly after that, Ridge races in, and the rest is history.
Bastard, the two of you tried to frame me.
You wait a minute, Ridge. You know you shot him.
You're not going anywhere, Clarke, until the police get here.
Wait a minute, Eric. You have a defense for this, Clarke?
You bet I do.
Well, save it for the indictment.
No. I'd like to hear it now.
Why?
Call it part of the process.
What process?
We may have some unfinished business here, Stephanie. All right, what's your story?
Okay, what time the shooting take place?
26 and 6:10.
Mm-hmm. I signed in enforcer at 5 o'clock.
But you never signed out.
Yeah, I told you. I went out the side door. That's where my car was parked.
That's no alibi, Garrison.
No, it's not. Huh. But this is.
What is it?
Here.
It's an ATM receipt.
Yeah. I thought I might need that. See, Spectra has payday on Friday, and I was depositing my check.
What does that prove?
Well, the receipt's dated and timed. The deposit was made at 5:48 p.m.
Yeah. This bank is 15 minutes from Forcer Creations. That puts me out of the building a full half hour before the shooting took place. Checkmate, Mr. Private Eye. Ridge, I'll be in the gallery at your trial, enjoying every minute of it.
That's good, Garrison. I needed an alibi, and you gave it to me.
An alibi? What do you mean? You're right back where you started, square one with a client who's guilty as hell.
Oh, no, I'm not, my friend. You know what? I thought this was a conspiracy. I never gave this guy enough credit.
Garrison?
No, Chambers. This man is indeed deadly.
What are you talking about?
Okay, everybody. Now, here is the story about what really happened the day that Chambers got shot.
Grant, sometimes I wonder if I know you at all.
Brooke, I want you. Right now. And you're not gonna refuse me, are you? Brooke, I want you right now. Do you hear me?
Oh, Grant. You know, I want to believe you, I do. It's just that I'm just so frightened sometimes.
What are you afraid of? You're in my arms. All you have to do is let go of Ridge. He's going to jail, and you just have to accept that.
Yes. Yes, you're right. I have to accept that. It's just you, me, and the children. Just us. We're alone now. All alone.
That's right. We're all alone. It's just you and me.
This belongs to you, Eric.
Yes, it does.
Very nice.
It was given to me by the East Coast Design Association.
Quite substantial, too. Must weigh about 15 or 20 pounds.
Hunter, are you ever going to tell us who shot Grant?
Yes, I am. You recognize this, Stephanie?
Is that my gun?
No. Your gun's in evidence. This is identical to your gun.
What are you doing with it?
What about this?
Piece of leather piping,
Used in the making of certain dresses.
just like the one that was found in Grant's office.
Hunter, what is the point to all of this?
Does anybody else at Forrester have an award like this?
Yes, Grant Chambers does.
That's right. He has it in his office.
Found on his floor the day of the shooting.
Who did it, Hunter? Who shot Grant?
Certainly not you, pal. But you were the motivator. You had everything that Grant wanted. The good job, respect, but mostly the love of his wife. Let me show you what happened that day in Grant's office. And that is how Grant Chambers was shot.
He did it himself? He shot himself?
Right. But he identified you to the police. And now, well, he has everything.
Stephanie, where are you going?
I'm calling the police.
Save your call. We're going to the police.